Now, this next story should probably concern only those folks who make purchases using a credit card, which is actually probably most people here in the United States. Now, the headlines read, Feds warrantlessly tracking Americans' credit cards in real time. So, should we all be worried? Well, security researcher Christopher Soghoian is here for more. Chris, this new document that was released basically shows that the Feds have been tracking Americans using their credit cards. But shouldn't they have to get a court order to do that?
Well, what we've known for a while is that the government is able to access people's credit card history. What these documents show is that the government is accessing people's credit card transactions in real time. So rather than getting the information after the fact, at the moment you swipe your card, the government can find out. Not only does this reveal which merchants you're going to, but because they know that the card is present, it reveals where you are. So you're at this gas station or this coffee shop. So it gives them some location information. In the past, they've been able to get historical information with just a subpoena, which is sort of just a letter the government writes that says, we think this is relevant to an investigation. The surprising thing is they're able to sort of track you in real time without having a judge really review whether that is okay. There's no sort of Fourth Amendment protections, and the bar with which they can get this is extremely low. So it's relevance to an investigation, which is very easy to prove.
Now, you actually got the document. Besides the fact that they're now tracking it in real time, anything else that we should know, anything else that concerned you personally about it?
Well, other than the fact that that they're getting credit card information, we found out they're also tracking airlines, hotels, maybe supermarket loyalty cards or shopping clubs. So there are vast arrays of information they're getting. But because they're not getting any sort of judicial oversight of these requests, we really don't have any sort of check and balance. There's no audit trail. We don't know how many of these requests are happening. There's not really any protection against abuse. So, if an agent wants to lie on the letter and say that his former spouse is a target in an investigation, there's no judge who's going to make sure that that really is the case. And so, this is potentially a very large program, and we just have no idea what's going on, and certainly we didn't even know this existed until a few weeks ago.
What is their sort of justification for it, though?
So they're
doing it.
I mean, they think this information is useful, and so the important thing here is that the government has always been able to get bank records, and Congress has given them the authority to do that, but Congress gave them the authority to get historical records. There's no law that gives them the power to get prospective or real-time transactions. And so what they've done is they've just said, well, we have the authority, and no bank has told them to get lost. And until a bank tells them to get lost and fights it out in court, the courts really won't weigh in on the issue. And so we have no real protection here. We're waiting for a bank to stick up for their customers' privacy, but until that happens, this sort of made-up authority will continue to be used.
But who are they targeting here? I mean, is this a random thing, or are they targeting specific individuals who they think may be involved in some kind of wrongdoing or might be under a criminal investigation, or, talking to people that they shouldn't be speaking to? I mean, how does this affect regular Americans?
So certainly they have to say that a person's records are relevant to an investigation. But that could mean 100 people's records. They could be searching, for information about people who are going to pharmacies and buying pharmaceuticals for the purpose of manufacturing methamphetamines. They could be looking at people who are purchasing fertilizer. We don't know how many requests. We don't know how many individuals' information is being obtained by the government. But, this should be alarming to the average person. And then I would hope that maybe Congress will take an interest and at least try and find out the scale of this activity.
And of course, the big question here, very briefly, is what's next? People are saying first they're going to do this. What could they do next? With, as you say, very little to no accountability.
We need transparency. We need at least some idea of the scale of this. We already know there are several thousand wiretaps a year. We don't know how many requests there are for email, but we know that those things happen. We need to know more about this so we can make sure it's not being abused.
Chris, very interesting story here, and we certainly appreciate your analysis with this. Thanks so much.
Thank you.